Where are my nuts at?
Over here, I got it.
So, Enix climbing holds. Let me tell you a quick story. We received these holds, which are the bumps, before Christmas, and I opened the box because it was like a Christmas gift, and inside there was a note: "Please enjoy these nuts. These nuts while you review our holds," which was cool. So I actually sat down with a camera and actually reviewed the holds, and there was a problem. I actually opened the nuts while I was doing it, and then I screamed like a Thankfully that footage is lost because my computer died and whatever else. But, you know, thank you, Brian. Thank you for the surprise. Was I amused to get smacked in the face by a fairly large elongating no, but you actually got me and I screamed like a 5-year-old. Today we're talking about the Enix bumps. But we have a special guest. Someone you don't see on camera. Someone that always comments. Someone that is part of Climbing Hold Review. Let's see if you actually remember what this guy looks like.
Hello everybody, I'm back on camera.
The other half of Climbing Hold Review has actually sat in front of a camera for the first time in close to 10 years. So we'll rip through bumps from Enix.
Let's do it.
Bumps from Enix. So
what can we say about these things? Well, they're the bumps from Enix. So we have like some in-cut slopers. This one here is slightly in-cut.
Slightly.
I think this is one of the better ones of the bunch. They are. This is a set of 5.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so they're a set of 5, and there are a couple ones that are a little more in-cut. These are really nice because they can be inverted. This one not so much, but some of the other ones will show you can invert them and use them as slopers.
But when you're kicking these from like flat out what you want to hold to actually, if you turn upside down and actually go for sloper, this is absolutely useless. Like, we're not Chris Sharma, you're not getting on it. But one thing that has to be noted is they all have an inset set screw hole. They all have a bolt column. All of the screw holes actually have a column as well. But what's really interesting is these holes are actually really kind of bubbly on the inside, which kind of sucks a little bit. Like, I'd expect to see no bubbles, and you see bubbles on the inside here, and like, not a bad thing. But you know,
we could question how many bubbles are actually in the mix, right?
Yeah, you're like when I see bubbles on this like cross bracing, I worry about how many bubbles are actually in the mix. You know,
yeah.
But like, you know, you look at it, it's like this much smaller bubbles. It's actually not so bad, but they're actually.
We have to like question how much they're actually shaking all those bubbles out.
But these holds have actually come out of a reset that we did quite recently, and these have been just pressure washed with a little bit of vinegar, and they're clean as all hell. Right, this is.
You'll see the rest of them. They are all clean. They look brand new. So we got
number 2.
Number 2.
Ooh, sloper. Yeah. That guy's.
So what I like about these is that, you know, they've really reinforced them, even though it's a smaller hold.
I think it's actually overly reinforced.
Well, I don't know, you know, at least they know that these holds will outlast a lot of other ones that may only have one center column that will like bow out a little bit as you're bolting them on every time and taking them off.
Like hitting them with the impact.
Yeah, you know. So reinforcing this is a really good idea.
It's good, but it, like in my experience or our experience, I feel that this and this is actually unneeded. The fact that they put it in is good, but it's pretty unneeded for a hole this size. Like, it's not needed.
I guess, but in our case, where we're
if they're doing it, do it well, right? Like, don't fuck around, get it done. Like, go.
But
like,
in our case, when we set and we're using impactors to put them in and out, like sometimes, you know, to have the extra reinforcement on the hold, especially if you over torque your bolts, it'll help
extra
to the durability of the hold.
Yeah, of course, but extra reinforcement on this point, which has a center column, and we're slightly off point for reviewing holds. Hitting this with an impactor really hard on the column, this will support it, but this won't. So this is like unnecessary, but it's nice to see, don't get me wrong, like this extra strengthening in the hold for sure. What I'd like to see is I'd actually like to see an inset washer in the screw hole.
That's true,
for
yeah.
sure.
Like
which is
like
something
we've
they don't
seen,
have.
This hole too is reinforced in the screw hole, which is great. They don't have the column, but it's within the mold, so it holds. So you know that you're going to get the contact on the wall when you place your screw. So this one here, this is number 2 of the set. As you can tell, pretty in cut. Would be great to bump to.
They're called the bumps, right? Duh. Like, but the thing is, like stuff that you're not mentioning, that like if you go through like and you actually look, even though it's slightly in cut, the the shape and the slope actually allows, with the scope here, you can actually get through and like get a really, I'm going to say nice thumb catch, but it's actually not that good a thumb catch. All of the thumb catches on these holds are crap. Like, they're bad. It's one of those like, oh, it's just enough, but... But counterpoint.
If you turn it upside down,
you can actually get on that one.
This is one of the prime examples out of this set of 5 where it's a little bit thicker than the rest, and it's narrow too, and you actually have a good slope here. You actually have a good slope here.
Ish.
Ooh.
Okay.
And you also have the thumb catch down here.
Okay. So you're gonna put like on a flat wall.
On a flat wall.
On a flat wall, you're
on
good.
A flat
on
wall.
a flat wall.
Did I say 15 degrees? I didn't say that.
Because like you know, 2 degrees on this hole.
We'll make it hard.
Upside down. Hard is one for
Your hard is. Boop, boop.
Yeah.
So we're on to the 3rd hold of this set of 5.
Yep.
And this is probably the slopiest one of the set.
Actually, yeah, it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's dirty.
Ooh.
I set with these. I set with these at the last Shakti comp, and I set something with really big feet, and a pretty. I thought was going to be a simple, easily readable sequence, but yeah.
Well, especially with these holds, because they're, like I said, they're all slightly in cut. This one, I'm going to show you the back of the hold because you can kind of see where it in cuts right in the middle there. But there's a small, very small section. This is the one that in cuts the least out of all of them.
Yeah, but that was the one I used as the match to go to a left-hand Gaston on something that was slightly more in cut. And people having trouble because these holds are actually pretty hard to read. Like, don't get me wrong, this thing's like full hand, away you go. but they're pretty hard to read. What I did was I set with most of the holds up the wrong way. Because, yeah, and or because I'm evil. Because you can get 2 hands on this hold. Is it pleasant? No, it's not pleasant in any way, shape, or
I
form.
would probably call it delicate.
No. There's delicate and what I set for, like, the start was fine, but the middle was like really, like, you had to really get your hands on it and then hit for a Gaston match and then go, and hanging on one of these upside down, because when you actually put these up the wrong way at Shakti, they do, even with the slight in cut, they give a shadow. So it looks like they're more positive on the bomb, so they look like in cuts, like undercuts, than they actually are. And that threw awful lot of people because...
Well, you set a medium route on this, right?
It was a medium route, and I was pitching people.
So medium route, we're trying to hit the V3 climbers and trying to introduce them into some newer moves and stuff like that, and you know, like fuck them up a little bit by switching holds
well, no,
around
totally.
and stuff like
and
that.
you know what? I did that. Like because every single grade, beginner, like, you know, the beginner, intermediate, and advanced climbers, I want to split the grade. That's what you do as a competition. I'm not a competition setter, but you want to split the grade. And that's what I did, is I split the entire field from the people that could do it or the people that couldn't do it in that route.
And this is a very good set for that.
Yeah.
Because like I said before,
it's very easy to set hard.
Exactly.
With these holds.
That's it, because you'll see on the next hold, I think the next hold is the best one of them all because it's the most in cut. But the in cut on it really changes from hold to hold and from shape to shape.
Well, no, well, these things, like these holds, like depends upon the angle of wall you're setting on.
Mm-hmm.
If you set these guys on vertical, yeah, whatever, all day long, 5-year-old kids can climb up these things. But you go +5, like you're in a different ball game. Like if someone at home has an adjustable wall, and they're like, oh, okay, I got this route. Keep the holds where they are, keep the feet where they are, just change it by 5 degrees, and you have an entirely different problem and a different, not so much strength wise, but like, you know, there's a whole bunch more stuff that has to actually get, you know, like different, like more core, more hand, you know, like these things will teach you how to pinch.
I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna say they're gonna teach you how to slope.
No.
They're gonna teach you how to slope.
No,
if you're not good on the slopers, to get this on a vertical wall, long reaches, getting the foot up, especially on this guy, which is the worst one. Probably the worst one.
If you can pinch, even though the pinch on all of these holds is absolute crap. If you can pinch, you've got more of a chance than someone that can't pinch. For sure.
Especially when it's upside down.
And I keep saying, okay, Chris, if I showed you this hold and I didn't show you who it was, whose hold is this?
That's a booby hold. It's technic. It's a technic hold.
Now,
it's been a while. I'm sorry.
But Enix is the new Technic. Technic are putting new stuff out, but Enix is the new Technic. Brian puts stuff out all the time. Is ridiculous. Let's go for number 4.
Okay, so number 4 is the easy hold of the set. Why do I say that? Because it's in cut. It's like what I call a juggy sloper.
It's not
really a jug, but it's round and comfortable and in cut.
It's not that juggy, but like you have to admit, these holds are like that's the back.
I know.
Like these holds are some of the most comfortable holds on. Actually, there's nothing I've had so far, or we've had so far from Enix, that I have had a problem with.
No, their holds have been amazing. We've brought a lot of sets into the gym. And people climb them like crazy. They're very ergonomic.
We actually just broke one of the holds actually. Recently of the old mix. This is the new mix. We actually
not the green pinch, was it?
Oh, the really good one.
Oh no! I'm gonna go and cry now.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a pause.
A couple of things on this hold. There's a lot of bubbles, and I don't expect to see that. Also, I don't expect to see sanding issues where this should all be sanded flat, whereas this has not been sanded flat. Again, center bolt column, you know, there's a set screw thing, Enix thing, but like this is probably the most positive one.
Yeah, and that's probably the best one for a pinch because of of the ink cut.
The reason this one's so good for the pinch is because you got so much flesh on it. Like, even though this does actually change angle on here, it does actually change angle, and you're allowed. This was actually my let me work it out. Yeah, this was actually my bonk. This was actually my bump Gaston. This way.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
Other way around.
It.
This was actually my hold you had to Gaston on, because you could actually Gaston on the thing. Was it nice? Was it pretty? Nah, it wasn't, and it shut the field down, but that's fine.
So we got the last one here, number 5.
Number 5. Johnny 5 is alive.
That it's upside down.
That thing looks like, I don't know.
This is probably my favorite one of the whole bunch, actually.
Really?
I haven't had a chance to set with them.
No, and you won't.
Yeah, because Jeremy likes hogging these holds. But, you know, I got my ideas with them. So, this one here is a very nice in-cut all the way along. It's very uniform where you can hit it.
I think
where you can hit it on the hold, you know, whereas some of the other ones, the in-cut tends to be right in the middle.
I think you're using in-cut in a very liberal sense.
I am making it in a very liberal, these things, sloper sense.
Like, these are not in-cut. These are like, you say in-cut. When I say in-cut, I mean in-cut. You're saying like, sloper death, essentially, because these things are viciously hard.
Yeah. But you have to keep in mind, we are talking about slopers. And not jugs.
That's true.
And not comfortable jugs. So these are nice slopers that have the in-cut that actually give you something to hold on to. You know, not like some of the Technic, which one's the one?
Oh, the Francos?
The Francos, yeah.
The Francos and the Croissants?
The Francos or the Arnolds, where they're very negative all the way around. Where this has a slight positive, you know, angle here that will, you know, give you something to grab onto. So for somebody who's trying to improve their grips on slopers, I think these are a very good set to work on. And then if you're, you know, a little bit more advanced, you can start to play with the angles and start to play with that pinch with the thumb in here, or as a side pull, or as a bump.
I'll counter that. If you're looking to get stronger on slopers, then I'd probably go to one of the other Enix sets where they actually have those long pinches on them. I can't remember what they're called, but I'd actually go for, like, if you're looking for the pinches, like the one we just broke, like the long pinches, I actually go more towards those than these, because even though these are like the fat pinches from Technic and whatever else, these are way slopier than those. They actually kind of complement them in a big sense. And I know Brian doesn't want to like copy someone else's holds, but I really want him to do a set of like these, but like much thinner, much shallower, that are like more friendly to people, because my hands are tiny, and trying to grab a wide pinch on this hold, like, you know, like I'm stuck to the double hand, like I pray before I get spat off. You put these on a 30-degree wall, they're viciously hard.
You know what's great about the Enix holds, and like we were talking about those the pinches and everything, is, you know, they're all pretty much the same hold with slight little differences. Like I said, like the in cut and the width, but they're hard to read. So when you're climbing there and you're looking at this, if I look at this and I'm climbing, I think it's a straight out sloper, crappy hole.
Well, that's what.
But some of them will give you the little gift of a bigger in cut that you might not anticipate.
But that's what I was saying. Is like I had this, and with the lighting of Shakti, this, if you look at it, because it looks like it's going to be an undercut. It's not an undercut. Like, you can throw everyone off in about 5 seconds flat by going upside down with the correct lighting. You can pitch everyone off, and that's what I did. And there's a couple of climbers that are still pretty unhappy with me about that. But like, that's fine.
We tend to do that when we route set, you know. You can't keep everybody happy, but I try.
As long as I'm happy, I'm fine. So, 5 holds, Enix bumps. Our cameraman's bored, he's yawning.
Hey.
So, 5 holds for the Enix bumps. Chris is like, and Chris will now show you the massive. I would say, as per usual at the end of videos, that I'm actually excited by these holds, but I've actually set with these holds. We've actually climbed these holds, and this is, you know, we always run the holds through the ringer a few times. These have come back, and they've come back like really nice. No harsh chemicals. The texture's still the same. Everything's really good. Like, I can't complain. The only thing I can complain about is the fancy salted mixed nuts, because as per usual, we'll see you again soon. Peace.